Very good morning to all of you. I am Dipender Gill from Government Polytechnic Ambala City, and the topic of my lecture today is pulse analog modulation. Now, as we know that in communication, signals may be broadly classified into two types. Number one, continuous time signal, and number two, discrete time signals. Continuous time signals are those types of signals which can attain any finite value at any given instant of time. But discrete time signals are defined only for discrete instants of time. Now, due to advances in digital technologies, we are shifting from continuous time signals to digital time signals, because in digital technology, inexpensive, lightweight, programmable and easily reproducible discrete time systems are available. Discrete time systems or discrete time signals और digital signals को प्रोसेस करना ईजी हो जाता है एज कम्पेयर टू कॉन्टिन्यूस टाइम सिग्नल्स बिकॉज ऑफ अवेलेबिलिटीज ऑफ ऑल दीज सर्किट्स. सो दैट इज वाई वी आर ग्रेजुअली शिफ्टिंग फ्रॉम एनालॉग डोमेन टू डिजिटल डोमेन, फ्रॉम continuous time signals to discrete time signals, because discrete time signals are more flexible and hence more preferable as compared to continuous time systems. So if we want to use discrete time systems for transmission of continuous time signals, then it is essential to convert a continuous time signal into a discrete time signals. Now, as I have told कि हमारे पास discrete time systems available हैं, those which are very flexible, inexpensive and easily programmable. और communication में जो हमें signals transmit करने हैं, they are more continuous in nature, they are analog in nature. तो अगर हमें डिस्क्रीट टेक्नोलॉजी यूज करनी है एनालॉग सिग्नल्स को ट्रांसमिट करने के लिए, देन इट इज एसेंशियल फर्स्ट टू कन्वर्ट दीज एनालॉग सिग्नल्स टू डिस्क्रीट टाइम सिग्नल्स, एंड दिस प्रोसेस इज कॉल्ड एनालॉग टू डिजिटल कन्वर्जन. एक बार सिग्नल को हमने रिसीवर तक पहुंचा दिया, देन इट हैज टू बी कन्वर्टेड बैक टू एनालॉग फॉर्म, दैट इज द ओरिजिनल फॉर्म इन विच इट वाज एट द ट्रांसमीटर साइड. डिस्क्रीट टाइम में हम सिर्फ उसको कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं so that it may be easily transmitted from transmitter side to receiver side. Once it has reached the receiver, it has to be converted back to analog form. Now, when we go from analog to digital conversion, the first step is sampling. Now, sampling is a process through which a continuous time signal is converted to a discrete time signal. In sampling, an analog signal is converted into a corresponding sequence of samples that are, in most of the cases, spaced uniformly in time. Now, जब हम sampling perform करते हैं किसी analog signal को discrete time signal में convert करने के लिए, उसके samples हम लेते हैं which are uniformly spaced in times. Sampling के दौरान हमारा sampling rate को properly choose करना बहुत जरूरी है, so that the signal may again be converted back to original form at the receiver side. If the sampling rate is not proper, then it is not possible to convert the signal back into original form at the receiver side. Then we will have problems at the receiver side in reconstructing the signal. Now, this diagram shows the process of sampling. This is a continuous time signal that we have to transmit. Now, अगर इस continuous time signal को हम using discrete technology transmit करना चाहते हैं, then we have to convert it into discrete time signal first. So, the first process is sampling of this signal. Now, we have taken some impulses uniformly spaced in time. Now, these impulses are actually samples of these signals which are separated by a uniform time gap. That time gap has been shown here. Now, अब सिग्नल को पूरा ट्रांसमिट ना करते हुए उसके कुछ डिस्क्रीट सैंपल्स ले लिए एट डिस्क्रीट इंस्टेंट्स ऑफ टाइम. सो दिस इज द प्रोसेस बाय विच वी आर कन्वर्टिंग अ कंटिन्यूअस टाइम सिग्नल टू अ डिस्क्रीट टाइम सिग्नल. सो व्हेन वी आर परफॉर्मिंग दिस प्रोसेस ऑफ सैम्पलिंग, इट इज वेरी एसेंशियल टू चूज अ प्रॉपर रेट ऑफ सैम्पलिंग. इन सैंपल्स के बीच में जो टाइम गैप है, that should be properly chosen. Only then it will be possible to reconstruct the signal at the receiver side. अगर हम इस पूरे सिग्नल का सिर्फ एक सैंपल भेज दें, सपोज दिस सैंपल at 0th instant, then at the receiver side it will not be possible to predict the actual shape of signal. So there is some minimum number of samples that should be sent from transmitter side to receiver side, so that the receiver may be able to reconstruct the signal back. ओरिजिनल सिग्नल को रिकंस्ट्रक्ट करने के लिए हमें कुछ मिनिमम नंबर ऑफ सैंपल्स भेजने ही पड़ेंगे. सो this thing should be kept in mind while performing the process of sampling. Now sampling process is governed by this sampling theorem given by Nyquist. It actually tells us about the frequency of sampling or the time gap between different samples that will be proper for transmission from transmitter side to receiver side. Now sampling, as I have told you, sampling of signals is the fundamental operation in signal processing. Then sufficient number of samples of the signal must be taken so that original signal is represented in its sample completely. If the number of samples is less than a particular amount, then there will be distortion and the receiver will not be able to reconstruct the signal back to the original form. So the actual number of how many samples should be transmitted from transmitter side to receiver side, that is governed by sampling theorem given by Nyquist. हमें कितने samples at least transmit करने चाहिए from transmitter side to receiver side, that is वो हमें sampling theorem बताती है. Sampling theorem was given by a scientist named Nyquist. Sampling theorem has two statements. One is frequency domain statement and the other one being the time domain statement. First we study the frequency domain statement. The frequency domain statement of sampling theorem states that a band limited signal of finite energy which has no frequency component higher than FM Hertz is completely described by its sample values taken at uniform interval less than or equal to 1 by 2 FM seconds apart. Now this is the frequency domain statement for sampling theorem. ये हमें बता रहा है कि जब हम किसी भी एनालॉग सिग्नल को सैंपल करें तो जो डिफरेंट सैंपल्स हैं उनके बीच का जो टाइम गैप है that should either be less than or equal to 1 by twice of the highest modulating signal frequency. अगर किसी पर्टिकुलर सिग्नल में हाईएस्ट जो फ्रीक्वेंसी प्रेजेंट है दैट इज डिनोटेड बाय FM हर्ट्ज, तब दो सैंपल्स के बीच का जो टाइम गैप है दैट शुड नॉट बी ग्रेटर देन 1 by 2 FM seconds. It should be either equal to or it should be less than 1 by 2 FM seconds. अगर सैंपल्स के बीच में इससे ज्यादा टाइम गैप हो जाएगा देन इट विल नॉट बी पॉसिबल फॉर द रिसीवर टू रिकंस्ट्रक्ट द सिग्नल बैक टू इट्स ओरिजिनल फॉर्म. तब रिसीवर साइड पे जब सिग्नल को रिकंस्ट्रक्ट करने लगेंगे देयर विल बी सम डिस्टॉर्शन व्हिच विल बी हाईली अनडिजायरेबल. सो व्हेन वी आर परफॉर्मिंग द सैम्पलिंग एट द ट्रांसमीटर साइड, सिग्नल को ट्रांसमिट करने से पहले जब हम सिग्नल को डिस्क्रीट डोमेन में लेके जा रहे हैं, डिस्क्रीट टाइम सिग्नल में कन्वर्ट कर रहे हैं, देन इट शुड बी टेकन केयर ऑफ दैट जब दो सैंपल्स हम ले रहे हैं उनके बीच का जो टाइम गैप है वो इस पर्टिकुलर वैल्यू दैट इज 1 by twice FM, where FM is the modulating signal frequency, highest modulating signal frequency. The time gap between two samples should not exceed this value. Now this is the frequency domain statement for sampling theorem. Now there is an equivalent statement that is given in time domain. A band limited signal of finite energy which has no frequency component higher than FM Hertz may be completely recovered from the knowledge of its samples taken at the rate of twice FM samples per second. Now ये एक equivalent statement है sampling theorem की, but this is in time domain. ये बता रही है कि हम जब सैम्पलिंग परफॉर्म कर रहे हैं एट द ट्रांसमीटर साइड बिफोर ट्रांसमिटिंग द सिग्नल, तो जो हम सैंपल्स ले रहे हैं दो शुड बी एट लीस्ट ट्वाइस FM सैंपल्स पर सेकेंड. एक सेकेंड में हमें मॉड्यूलेटिंग सिग्नल फ्रीक्वेंसी के दुगनी वैल्यू के सैंपल्स ले लेने हैं. अगर उससे कम सैंपल्स हम एक सेकेंड के लिए ट्रांसमिट करते हैं देन इट विल नॉट बी पॉसिबल फॉर द रिसीवर टू रिकंस्ट्रक्ट द सिग्नल बैक टू इट्स ओरिजिनल फॉर्म. So this is telling us about the frequency of sampling, that is एक सेकेंड में हमें at least ट्वाइस एफएम सैंपल्स जो हैं वो ट्रांसमिट कर रहे हैं, तभी हमारा रिसीवर दोबारा से एनालॉग सिग्नल को रिकंस्ट्रक्ट कर सकेगा। When the sampling rate becomes exactly equal to twice FM samples per second, it is called Nyquist rate or minimum sampling rate. Now sampling theorem में हमने एक minimum value define की है both in frequency domain and time domain. Like in time domain we have defined that the time gap between two successive samples, that should either be less than or equal to 1 by 2 FM seconds. नाउ जो ये 1/2 FM सेकेंड्स की जो वैल्यू है, द मैक्सिमम टाइम गैप बिटवीन टू सक्सेसिव सैंपल्स फॉर proper reconstruction of signal at receiver side, this is called Nyquist interval. Likewise, in case of time domain statement, we have defined that at least 2 FM samples per second must be transmitted for the signal to be reconstructed back at the receiver side. तो ये एक मिनिमम वैल्यू हमने डिफाइन की है कि एक सेकंड में मिनिमम हमने ट्वाइस एफएम सैंपल्स ट्रांसमिट करने हैं, तभी रिसीवर एनालॉग सिग्नल को दोबारा से रिकंस्ट्रक्ट कर सकेगा. सो दिस मिनिमम वैल्यू, दिस इज अगेन डिफाइंड बाय Nyquist as Nyquist rate, that is twice FM hertz. So depending upon these two statements, two different factors have been defined by Nyquist. One is when the sampling rate becomes exactly equal to twice FM samples per second, it is called Nyquist rate or minimum sampling rate. Now this is minimum sampling rate. अगर sampling rate इससे higher है then it is okay, but meaning the sampling rate should not be less than this value. So this rate is known as twice FM samples per second and it is called Nyquist rate. Second is time gap, maximum time gap between two successive samples. Maximum time gap कितना होना चाहिए? It should be 1 by twice FM seconds. So when the time gap is at this maximum value, that is 1 by 2 FM seconds, this is called Nyquist interval or maximum sampling interval. Here we should be careful that Nyquist rate is minimum sampling rate and Nyquist interval is maximum sampling interval. So these two different factors have been defined for proper sampling of the analog signal before converting it to from continuous domain to analog domain. Now हमने ये दो rates define कर दिए, Nyquist rate and Nyquist interval. Now if the sampling rate is less than Nyquist rate or the sampling interval is greater than Nyquist interval, then there will be a problem that is called undersampling, which leads to aliasing. Now जब हम सैम्पलिंग रेट, जब हम जो नाइक्विस्ट सैम्पलिंग रेट है उसका ध्यान ना रखते हुए अगर उससे कम रेट पे सैम्पलिंग करें या दो सक्सेसिव सैंपल्स के बीच में जो टाइम इंटरवल है अगर वो नाइक्विस्ट इंटरवल से ज़्यादा हो, तो इसको हम कहते हैं अंडर सैम्पलिंग. दैट इज we are not transmitting sufficient number of samples for the receiver to reconstruct the signal back. और इस effect को हम बोलते हैं aliasing, because due to undersampling some high frequency components in the spectrum of signal takes identity of lower frequency component. तो जो दो frequency component हैं उनके बीच में overlap हो जाएगा और उनके बीच की जो information है that will get lost. So it will not be possible at the receiver side to reconstruct the signal back in properly into the original form in which it was transmitted from the transmitter side. Next we come to pulse modulation. Now we have studied different types of modulation like frequency modulation and amplitude modulation. Pulse modulation is also a type of analog modulation. Pulse modulation जो है this cannot be termed as digital modulation. It is a type of analog modulation. But the difference is that in case of pulse analog modulation, the carrier signal is of pulse shape. That may be a rectangular pulse. जो carrier signal हम लेके चलेंगे वो एक pulse shaped signal होगा और उसकी कोई कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स जो हैं वो वेरी होंगी अकॉर्डिंग टू इंस्टेंटेनियस वैल्यू ऑफ सम मॉड्यूलेटिंग सिग्नल। मॉड्यूलेटिंग सिग्नल एक कैरियर पल्स की कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स को चेंज करेगा। नाउ as was in previous cases, the characteristics which can be varied by the modulating signal are, in case of pulse, are amplitude, width of the pulse and its position. In analog pulse modulation, there is the some characteristic of a pulse is made to vary according to the message signal or modulating signal. Now the main aim is to transmit a modulating signal. अब यहाँ पे हम carrier change कर रहे हैं, that carrier should only be a pulse. Now depending upon these three properties of the pulse which can be changed according to the modulating signal, we have three different types of pulse analog modulation. Pulse amplitude modulation, in which we will vary the amplitude of carrier pulse according to instantaneous value of modulating signal. Second one is pulse width modulation, in which we will vary the width of a carrier pulse according to instantaneous value of modulating signal. And the third one is pulse position modulation, that is the position of the pulse with respect to some fixed reference point will keep on changing according to instantaneous value of modulating signal. So there is a difference between pulse analog modulation and pulse width and position modulation, that in case of pulse amplitude modulation we are varying the amplitude of carrier pulse, but both in case of pulse width modulation and pulse position modulation we are actually varying the timing of the carrier pulse train. So broadly we can classify